Every decision is a vote for the person you believe you are. Welcome back to the Zipmouth Motivation Show, where we quiet the noise and challenge our thinking and elevate our minds. I'm your host, Demasha K, the crazy host, Demasha K. But I'm your host, Demasha K. Shout out to 101.5 Philly Vibe all the time. You can catch me on there with some music and just some words of encouragement every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. So today we are digging into Identity Series Part 2. And I know it's kind of late, but let me tell you how I've been doing like 5 or 6 takes of this. I don't know why, what's going on, what's the issue. I feel like I'm having all kind of issues today. This week, I feel like I'm having all kind of issues, but this one is like, whatever, let's just go with it. So in our last episode, we talked about identity being the foundation of everything in your life, right? Today we're taking it just a little step deeper. Like we're going to go a little bit deeper than what we would normally go. Today's question isn't what decisions should I make? It's who's making the decisions, right? Because we would all want to think that, like we are making most of the decisions in our life, but is that true? Or is something else or a situation or a person, somebody else making the decisions for us, and we're just going along with it? Every choice you make is connected to the identity you accept. To the identity that you accept. If you're accepting negativity, if you're accepting like what is the word? If you're accepting people calling you YN, right? Then you have to ask yourself, like, why am I accepting it? Most people think that one decision won't change anything. One missed workout, one unnecessary purchase, right? One lie. That's always the big one. People feel like, man, it's not gonna harm anybody for me not to tell the truth one time. Or one excuse. By itself, it doesn't seem significant, right? Just one thing is not gonna bother me. I don't know if you're trying to lose weight and you like this one cookie is not going to irritate me, or it's not going to do anything to my body or anything like that. But you just never know. But every decision is casting a vote. You're not making choices, you're becoming someone. And you have to think like every decision that I make is bringing me closer to the person that I am, or is bringing me closer to who I want to be, or who I'm aspiring to be, or is bringing me closer to that change. And I know for some people, like some people think fun. So when you go into having a serious conversation like this, they're like, oh no. Well, that's, like I can hear people now, well, we just say YN because, that's just who, like I don't really think it's that bad, but you have to think about the decisions that you make, because every decision that you make, everything that you say, and everything that you do can pull you away or bring you closer. So think about the elections, right? One vote may not seem like much. It may not seem like that big of a deal at all. But thousands of individual votes determine the outcome, right? So if you do something one time, you'll do it 2 times. And if you do it 2 times, you'll do it 3 times. And then so on and so on and so on. Your life works the same way. Every decision you make is casting another vote towards your future, your identity. Every morning you hit the snooze button. Definitely me. Definitely me. And I don't know why I do this to myself, because I know I need to get up. I know that I got to take a 30-minute, 45-minute, sometimes a 50-minute ride somewhere every morning. But every morning I hit that snooze button. Just about every morning. Some mornings I'll be like, oh no, I can't do this. But you hit that snooze button. You're voting every time you choose to study. You're voting every time you gossip. You're voting every time you apologize. You're voting like every time you avoid difficult conversations. You're voting every healthy meal, every workout, every act of kindness, every excuse, every promise you keep. You're telling yourself who you are. And I know people like, oh, I don't want to go that deep. You don't become disciplined overnight. You become disciplined after casting hundreds of small votes of discipline. And I think that's the place where people don't even really think about it. I was talking to someone, I can't even remember who I was talking to now, but I was talking to them and we were talking about social media and we were talking about like how people make it in social media and when they're doing their social media. And I said, it's merely discipline. It's discipline. It's not about posting 2 or 3 times a day or whatever. It's every time that they grab their phone, they are being disciplined in something. And it takes that sometimes. It takes that discipline to say, like, listen, I know what I want. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm about to do. It's discipline. Small decisions build big lives. Most people overestimate big moments and underestimate ordinary ones, which is crazy. Like we overestimate these big moments and then then we underestimate ordinary ones. It's like, oh, that's not a big deal, but that really is. We celebrate graduations, business launches, buying houses, getting married, winning awards. But those moments weren't built by decisions nobody applauded. Nobody celebrates the nights that you stay at home and study, right? Nobody celebrates that. Nobody celebrates the nights that you choose, like, listen, I'm not going out tonight. I'm just gonna try to figure out life, or I'm gonna try to do something to get me closer to this space that I need to be in. Nobody claps for you because you save another $20. Nobody sees the mornings you get up early. I remember like first jumping into like my career, right? Jumping into my business. And I remember like I was always busy. And I remember people used to be so mad at me. Like they'll be like so mad. They'll be like, well, why you can't go out? I'm not going out. I'd rather do this. Why you can't do this? I gotta stay focused. I gotta do this. I gotta stay focused. I gotta do this. You know, like so on and so on. Nobody sees that this is I'm trying to build something. I don't care about going out. I don't care about being seen. I don't care about getting dressed up. I don't care things that I used to care about. I don't care about them no more. Because what I've learned is that like I'm trying to become somebody, or I'm trying to do something different, or I'm trying to make something work. Nobody sees the mornings you get up early. Nobody notices the books you read. The private decisions that create results, nobody sees those. So nobody's clapping for those. But your future isn't decided in one dramatic moment. It's built in the ordinary moments, the moments that most people would call like boring. Or they'll say like, oh, nobody wants to do that. Let's go party. Let's go do this and let's go do that. Those ordinary moments that you repeat constantly, those are the ones that support your growth. Those are the ones that support your change. Those are the ones that support you becoming the new you. Why do we keep repeating the same patterns? Have you ever asked yourself, right? Why do I keep ending up here? Just ask yourself that for a second. Ask yourself, why do I keep ending up here? Maybe it's relationships. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's your career. Many people will say, oh, well, it's bad luck. It's bad luck. It's just bad luck. I'm having bad luck. I'm having bad luck. Sometimes it's not bad luck. Sometimes your decisions are protecting your current identity. They're protecting the old you. They're not protecting the future you, because you haven't even stepped into that future you. You may not even know what that future you looks like yet. You just know, like, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to carry on with this behavior anymore. I don't want to struggle anymore. I don't want to be negative or to be nasty to people anymore. It just depends. And sometimes, like I said, your decisions are protecting that current you, that current identity. And I went in to say, I was talking to someone, we were talking about social media, and we were talking about like how people, you know, like they go viral or they do this, they do that. And it's because they're consistently doing something. They're consistently doing something. People are like, you spend hours scrolling. When people say they can't do social media, and I say you spend hours scrolling, like really looking at nothing, like looking at stuff that people have dedicated their time. They dedicated their time to do over and over again on a daily basis. And that's what they've done. They've dedicated their time to just say, hey, you know what? This is what I'm about to do. And nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me from doing this thing. So when you get that in your mind, now you're making the decisions for you. You're not allowing your decisions to protect your old identity. You're saying, like, I'm reaching for my future. If someone secretly believes they don't deserve success, just like yesterday, I said, you begin to self sabotage. You don't even look for successful things to happen to you. And they may be happening all around you. But just because you don't believe that it can happen to you, you don't see it. They may be like a procrastinator or someone that avoids opportunities or somebody that stays small. I know one thing about the internet is I love the internet. I love to see people doing big things. You know, when I see them doing big things, I'm always like loving their posts. It's so weird that people think like when you love their posts or when you like their posts, like you're trying to flirt with them. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not where I'm going with that. But I love to celebrate people. I love to see people win. And I don't care who it is. Half the time I might not even know that person. They just might be my friend on social media for whatever reason we became friends. But I'm happy for you. Like I'm genuinely happy for you. I'm happy to see you win. The toughest thing that I think one of the toughest things that I had to do in life is working in entertainment, right? And working in entertainment, in my mind, I'm thinking like I could be really successful at it. I could be really successful at this. But because of the people around me, like working, doing music entertainment, it's like a man's space. And so then you got all the men like with the little whispers and things like that because they didn't want me to be successful. They didn't see the opportunity that I could bring to what they were doing. And sometimes people think that way. So when they start thinking of themselves as like they don't see the opportunity, you start avoiding the opportunity because now you kind of like taking on what they have going on. So that's why I said who's making the decisions. You don't lack the ability because this success doesn't match the identity that you've accepted. So you have the ability to be successful, but it's about the identity that you're accepting. It's about what you're accepting and what you're saying is okay. And what you're saying, like, this is okay. This is how I always been. Your mind naturally tries to stay consistent with what it believes is true. So if your mind is naturally trying to stay consistent with what it believes is true, if you think negative of yourself, then your mind's going to stay in that space. If you don't think that you'll ever be successful, you're going to stay in that space. If you don't think that you're a good mother, you're going to stay in that space. That's why changing your thinking is so important. And I know people be getting tired of me talking about changing changing the way that you think, but I think it's so important. Because a lot of times when people are talking to me and they're talking to me about the things that they're going through and the things that are happening in their life, I'm like, it's just the way that you think. You may not think you're successful, but in my eyes, I see success. If you don't change your identity, you'll eventually make decisions that pull you back to what's familiar. And I don't know about y'all, but I be getting tired of living in the familiar. And this is probably why I would just pack up all my stuff and move. I just leave the state. Like, I'm just gone. Especially when my kids were like preschool age. I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'm tired. When I moved back to Florida this time, I moved to a different city, a city that I wasn't from or I wasn't familiar with, just so I could see like what else is out there. Sometimes you have to make a decision that won't pull you back to the familiar. It will push you towards your future. Ask yourself a better question. Most people ask, what do I feel like doing? Right? Most people say, like, what do I feel like doing? That question leads you to emotion. Like now you're dealing with your emotions. Instead of asking yourself, would the person I'm becoming make this decision? And that kind of made me smile a little bit because when you ask yourself, would the person I'm becoming make this decision? What decisions would the person I'm becoming make? Imagine, imagine you're becoming a great parent, a successful entrepreneur, a trustworthy leader, a healthy person, a person with peace. Now ask yourself, would the version of me stay in this toxic relationship? Would the version of me spend money this way? Would the version of me keep making excuses? Would the version of me ignore my health? Would the version of me continue avoiding uncomfortable conversations? And one better question can completely change your behavior. So when you're asking yourself, don't be asking yourself, what should I be doing? Or what am I doing? Or what do I want to do? No, no, no. Because we don't want to step into emotions. Ask yourself, will the person I'm becoming make this decision? Because that's the real question. Stop voting for your future. Because here's a good thing, right? Here's a good thing. You don't have to become someone overnight. You don't have to do that. You simply need to cast another vote. Want to become healthier? Drink more glasses of water daily. And I'm laughing because I always see these memes that say like, I drink water, mind my business or something, and I just think it's cute. Want to become financially responsible? Save $10. I was just talking to my cousin on the phone earlier, and we were talking about maybe like going out or something. And I was like, I don't really want to go out. I was like, I literally don't want to spend money. Like I don't want to spend a lot of money doing absolutely nothing. Like stuff that I can do at home. If I'm gonna have a drink, I can have a drink at home. I could probably, what I would buy 2 drinks or something, I could probably just buy something and just come home with it and not have to worry about all the extra stuff that goes along with it. I don't want to spend no money. I don't want to spend $20 to get into a space that's crowded, that I might not be comfortable, that I'm going to stay in there for 3 hours and then I'm going to leave. I don't want to do it. Maybe I'll do it next weekend. This weekend, I don't want to do it. If you want to become more knowledgeable, read 10 pages a day. And it sounds like, oh, well, you making that sound so easy, when actually it could be. Want stronger relationships? Have honest conversations. A lot of times we're chasing perfection. Stop chasing perfection. Start collecting the votes, and eventually your identity begins to change. Like I said, today I don't want to do that. Not saying that I don't do it sometime. This weekend, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just like, I could be doing something different. Next weekend, I might be like, oh, okay, let's go out a little bit. Let's hang out. It just depends on like what my identity. Right now, my identity is in a different space. I'm in a space of like, I want to buy some land and I'm trying to save like every penny. Every penny. Your identity begins changing. Not because you wish for it, but because your decisions prove it. We have all this talk about, all these little different things going on in the world. And one particular thing is like the housing and it's the money. We're not making the proper money and things like that. And it's very true. And we can talk like in our communities about how like we need to save the money in our communities. But when you really think about it, how many people really do? How many people really do? Today I want you to remember one thing. Your future isn't created by your intentions. It's created by your repeated decisions, which means you have to think. Every decision is asking you one question: who am I becoming? You ever do something negative and you like, that's not me. That's not who I am. Before you make your next decision, today, tomorrow, tonight, whenever, pause for a second. Take a breath and ask yourself, will the person I'm becoming make this decision? If the answer is yes, move forward confidently. Don't look back. Don't second guess. Go. Go. If the answer is no, you've just you've just been given an opportunity to cast a different vote. You've just been given an opportunity to cast a different vote. One better decision today can become a better habit tomorrow. A better habit can become a better identity. And a better identity can change your entire life. Can change your entire life. Not just a little bit of it. Your entire life. Again, this is the Identity Series Part 2. I'm your host, Demasha K. And this is the Zipmouth Motivation Show, sponsored by 101.5 Philly Vibe. Again, until next time, quiet the noise and elevate the mind. I want to challenge you though, before I go, for the next 7 days, before making important decisions, ask yourself, will the person I'm becoming make this decision? Write your answers down. And at the end of the week, right? At the end of the week, review your choices and look for the patterns. Look for the different patterns that may be happening in your life. Because awareness is the first step towards transformation. And sometimes we're just not aware of what we're doing. We're not aware of who we are or the moves that we're making. So become more aware. Become more aware. As always, you know, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I decided to record today because I want them to stay. And I think that when I do lives on certain platforms, they disappear after a certain amount of days. So I want them to stay so people can go back and they can look at the different series. Again, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And have a wonderful night. Now come back tomorrow for the Identity Series Part 2.